Hello and welcome to South Beach Sessions. I'm very excited about this. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time here. Lamar Odom, when he was in Miami, was a lot of different things. Fun at basketball, obviously, but vulnerable, willing to talk about himself in ways that are open. He's an open book, two-time champion, sixth man extraordinaire. It's nice to see you, Lamar.
What's up, man?
How are you doing? You're getting a call already.
Yeah, I can. I'm really good. I'm in a good place, healthy. Feeling good.
How are you spiritually?
Amazingly great. Faithful all the time to the Lord. Just being my best self every day, or trying to get some business done.
How would you tell people what your Miami experience was? Because what I remember from your Miami experience is that everybody fell in love with that 42-40 team, and that they were very upset to see you go, even though you were being traded for Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, yeah, that's a big deal, right? I think as far as basketball is concerned, it was probably life-changing. Yeah. As far as the beginning of a basketball journey, well, it wasn't the beginning of my basketball journey, but I guess a phase. It was life-changing for me.
What was the culture shock like for you going from the Clippers organization to something as regimented?
Extreme discipline. Yeah, I owe a lot to Pat Riley for having that faith in me. We caught me and Dwayne caught the Miami Heat when they got tired of getting their ass kicked because they worked so hard. And I could just remember my first month down there. I was like, I thought my name was motherfucker. Really, like it was serious. And but it taught me that. You can learn, especially when you're willing to, and change bad habits.
Well, when we sat down here, you were saying you missed the discipline.
Yeah, I miss it now. For me, with my life journey, I try to just be my best self every day. That's all I can do. All I can do. I've been through so much, right? Physically, probably a walking miracle. No, I am a walking miracle. I don't know if you can, ever gonna meet somebody to survive. Physically, but also mentally. Right? It'd be hard for a lot of people to, show face. After, being what I've been through. But hopefully my my story helps people get out of that dark place of addiction, and you can overcome it even when you count it out, like I was. My family more than one time was told say your final goodbyes to Lamar, but I'm here talking to you, and when I woke up, the doctors, told me I probably wouldn't even, walk or talk again, after 12 strokes and 6 heart attacks. But I think the reason why I was spared, because probably my faith in God, and I don't think someone with as faith as strong as mine was going to be taken, especially after the night that, I didn't even do drugs that night, Dan. I was depressed. If I had cocaine on me that night, I definitely would have taken it. I just signed a divorce paper from, Chloe. And I guess my honest to God truth, I think the reason why God saved me, I don't know. I don't know. I'm still, really finding out. But as I start to find out more and more, as I, live clean and, meet people and, meeting, people who can, change my life, every day. And I guess living life the best way, I think, is my, reward.
12 strokes and 6 heart attacks is a crazy thing to come out of your mouth. Like
that's the truth.
I know. No,
Yeah.
I know that Untold, you told the story very well. You were You gave them the most open version of yourself. What do you remember from 12 strokes and 6 heart attacks? Is there any memory?
It was
there?
all black, bro. I remember when I woke up, it was I woke up. I still got this mark in my neck from tearing the tubes and shit out of my neck and my mouth. So, because they say when you wake up from a situation like that, you're in shock. But I don't remember much.
What do you remember about before that? Like the moments before it's just
I remember
all black?
going to the brothel, sitting down and having a drink, and then waking up 3 days later. And for an addict or somebody that liked to party, I was like, that must have been some good shit to knock me out for 3 days. And when I woke up, I'd say the scariest part was not being able to talk. You know what I mean? Like me and you can sit here and thoughts come to our mind and words come out of our mouth when we think. I would say that probably was the most scariest part.
How long before you were able to talk?
Shit, I forgot, man. It's been so long, and so much, going on. In my life since then, maybe like 3 or 4 months to walk and talk again. I started to walk and talk so fast, I didn't really finish my cognitive therapy, and so far it's like that's why, just like reading a book, it's like a gym workout for me. You know what I mean?
How were you changed by it?
Of course, I care more about myself. Care more about my health and what my health means to my family and people that really love me.
Is there a way for you to articulate, because I want to talk about the entirety of your life, but if you were trying to explain your first 12 years, 14 years to people, what are the signposts and the landmarks that you would talk about as the things that shaped you from there?
Oh, that's easy. Probably my mother passing away.
You lost her at 12, right?
Yeah, when I was 12. How that shaped me and framed me athletically and academically. How it really increased my faith in God. And I think at that time it grew me closer to my family, and to God. Gave me purpose.
Those are positive things to come from that.
Yeah.
I would think that the things associated
my
with
life is that's how I always think. My glass, I was raised.
She was positive, right?
Yeah. I was raised to think. My glass is always half full. I mean, think about that. If you wake up at a brothel, if you go to a brothel and you married to a woman who I was married to, and you go to hang out because you got divorced, and you wake up 3 days later, and when you wake up, you got doctors in your face telling that you never gonna walk or talk again. How you gonna get out of that if your glass is not at least full? When you pour it. It's the power of God, manifestation, belief. Being an athlete is like, if the ball gets swung at me, I got to know that it's going in before I shoot it.
What can you tell me about how she raised you, the 12 years she had with you?
Oh, man. Just to be support what you love. Be happy and, move with grace.
Because you were, in Miami, you seemed very happy. You seemed to have been liberated. You came with some baggage, right? Because
that's marijuana joints, right?
The simple stuff.
Yeah, it was different. It was looked at differently back in I forgot when I got suspended, 2001 or 2003. You might as well told people that I was, sniffing cocaine in the locker room. But perception is a motherfucker, right? And everybody knew that I had it though. like I said before, I always played the game from a point guard's point of view. I had a love for the game that was, it's obvious. I think, being on a team that people expected to lose, right? I was on a team that lost 20 games in a row by 20. All right, so for a kid that was used to winning most games that he played in, whether it was football or Pee Wee football or basketball, hitting the game against Temple, just used to winning because of my mentality. It was great. Miami was like a breath of fresh air. It was like,
what was the Clippers experience like?
I just wanted to win. So playing on a team that was expected to lose, it was tough. Got a lot of technical fouls and a lot of offensive fouls. I didn't think that were offensive fouls. And it's tough when just think about, being that young and losing 20 games in a row by 20. It could be depressing.
Especially because you'd done mostly just winning before that, right?
All winning. Like I said before, whether it was Pee Wee football, AAU, right? AAU, I played with Elton Brand, Ron Artest, and Eric Barkley.
Basketball was what to you in terms of savior, rescuing you?
Oh, that's exactly what it was. I remember when my mom's died, I just went out and shot the ball all night, like till the sun came up. Yeah, when I was like 10 years old, I kind of put in my mind that I was going to make it to the NBA one day. And David Stern was going to call my name. I kind of made that pact with myself.
So unsurprising to you when you get drafted fourth in the first round, probably thought you should have gone higher.
I should have went number one. Yeah. If you think about skill level and, how the game played the right way. Yeah, I should have went number one.
How did you end up at Rhode Island? What's the real story?
Got caught for cheating on my SAT. Did I get caught for cheating on the SAT now? I don't even know how that goes now, right? I never see that come at the bottom of the screen anymore. Yeah, I got caught cheating on my SAT. I don't even think kids get ruled academically ineligible anymore. I never see that on the bottom of the screen anymore. That's pretty good. And they're in a really good spot. They're getting what would you call NIL?
I would assume
financial retributions.
I would assume that part of the reason that you ended up at Rhode Island, because it was a really unusual place, was because somebody was taking care of you. And I wouldn't have thought anything of it.
Yeah, well, I was the number one player in the country. When me and T-Mac, 1A and 1B. He got USA Today, and I got Parade Magazine Player of the Year, 1997. What
was life like back then? What do you remember of that time? Is it just?
Well, I don't have any bills. You know what I mean? So it's just hoop and life and a lot of learning.
Were you happy though? Because you've described some of your past as a cesspool of trauma.
I've always that's life though. Just just matters on your path and the road that you're chosen to walk down. Damn, right? My son passed away in 2006. He was 6 months old. You know what I mean? It don't get any realer than that.
No, that changes you.
Yeah, shit, I'm okay. I'm a man, right? Think about his mother.
Well, I don't think it's easy for anybody.
Believe me, it ain't. It ain't. But, maturity, who knows when it's going to come or how it's going to come. For some of us, even when it's supposed to come.
You were a kid, though, for how long, though? I don't imagine
Well, there's a part of me that's really I'm still a kid, right? That's probably one of the reasons why I'm probably going to live till I'm 120, because every day feels like yesterday.
In what ways are you an adult, though? I would think the things that you're talking about with grief would be things that would make you mature.
Well, I think what makes me an adult now is the lessons that I can pass down to my children.
Like?
dealing with the loss, like just losses. Like you're not gonna have everything forever, whether it's me or your mother.
I don't have very much experience with that. The people who listen to this show know that I lost my little brother 3 years ago, and it was the greatest trauma of my life. Just no expectation of it.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. You are very familiar with this particular subject matter, though. Too familiar, I would say.
But who knows? Is that a blessing or a curse, or because, you still have your mom and your dad?
I do, yes. But my wife just lost her father and now doesn't have either one of her parents, and so there's grief in the home right now in a way that's just knocks everything sideways. Like I'm not equipped.
Yeah.
I don't feel strong. I don't feel like I can help her very much.
Well, I'm gonna let you know, from a man's perspective, if it makes you cry, cry.
Oh, I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
Do you?
About certain things. I do.
I would think that I would think growing up in sports, man and black, that it would be a long time before you cried for the first time, just culturally based on.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right. You're right.
I tend to find men to be pretty repressed in this area.
100%. But I could tell you from experience, you should know.
Well, what have you learned, though? I would actually like to know.
I never even let myself really sit there and cry about my son. But I think because of the position that I take in my family, for some stupid reason, right? And you think you have to, to be tough and suppress.
You just gave me the advice of let yourself do it.
Yeah, but, this contradiction, that's life. Mm.
How is it that you maintained, it wasn't a mask, right, of happiness or optimism or glass half full when you're describing your cesspool of trauma, the path, just taught by your mother? There have to be other things here that are allowing you to be that, to summon that, the positivity. How? Were you wearing a mask or were you actually happy?
When?
I'm going to say from, let's say 12 to.
Oh no, I was happy. I've always been a happy person or a happy kid, especially when I was young. No pressures, being a kid. I probably chop my left ball off right now.
Who was your support?
My grandmother.
And
my mother's mother.
And how did she do that? What was she supplying?
Just genuine love. Yeah. My grandmother was born in Georgia in 1923. And she didn't have one racist bone in her body. She went back to college and graduated at 50 years old. She's the only reason why I probably didn't go to the MBA out of high school.
Because what was she saying? She was just...
Well, she valued education, that much. And when my mother passed away, when I was in 8th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, I kind of for some dumbass reason, I just put school on the back burner. I never really, even when I can do the work, never really applied myself like I should have. And, now being, 46, 20, how many years after the league? 2015, 10 years, 15 years after the league, I value education just as much as she did, Well,
you say for some dumbass reason, there was a lack of guidance, and you were having... I was
12 years old. I probably went through the most trauma that a person could go through. And that's when I was talking about the, I guess you could say as, fuck. I don't know how I would react if my mother passed away at 35, if I was 35 and she passed away. But yeah, shit is real, man.
What was your grandmother supplying, though, when you think of her?
Oh, she was a Jesus lover. We went to church. Even when my mother was here, that was instilled in us at a young age, and then my faith was sealed even before then over things that I've seen when I was young, growing up. It's unexplainable. I don't know. I think about that a lot of times, and I think about my path in life. I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
Do you spend any time sort of being introspective or examining how all of this loss has made you who you are, how it changes you, how appreciative you are of moments? Or is it easier to just try not to think about it because
how you can't think if you can't think about you got to think about life. It makes me very reflective and appreciative at the same time. A lot of ifs, makes me want to give back as much as possible for some reason, especially with my addict brothers and sisters. Whether it's my time or, my story.
What is there to be said about your relationship with your father?
My father's passed away as well. He was probably my biggest advocate. But that's why I mentioned my addict brothers and sisters, because it's a lot of forgiveness that had to take place. It was, and it's easy for me to, be empathetic, because I had the same problem, right?
Forgiveness how?
I had to forgive him for, choosing, drugs over his family.
Is that a choice though? That's how a kid would look at it.
Yeah, that's not how it goes, but that's how it went, right? But I understand why he couldn't make that, that decision.
Do you have any?
Failed.
Excuse me?
Why he failed at making the right decision? I understand.
Do you have any snapshots that remember sort of how he was troubled by heroin addiction?
Oh yeah, I remember how chaotic it was when I went to go, spend the night at his home. At my grandmother's house. Yeah, those nights were crazy. And I didn't live there. I couldn't imagine what my cousin went through who lived there.
And so basketball ends up raising you?
In some sense, it did.
How so?
In a sense. Gave me direction, purpose, discipline as well.
Gave you worth too, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're
100%.
And so as you're traveling up the ranks as the number one recruit in America, it's intoxicating, right?
Yeah. In a good way.
Was there pressure involved with it? When did the pressure arrive? When did the business of it and any of the contaminants arrive?
Probably recruiting, I would say. Like AAU, probably, right? AAU, AH.
All of these things are distorting, right? You lose your mother at 12 years old. You're the number one recruit in America, and now you're surrounded by a whole bunch of people who see money.
Trying to eat off you, yeah.
They see money when they look at you.
Yeah. You got to grow up fast, right? Decisions on the fly. Not all of them are going to be the right one. Yeah. Some of those things that happened, that didn't happen, I kind of learned to live with them. Right, whether it turned into a regret or they went well, just life.
Were you ready in any way with what came next for you, the next step on all of this? Not just recruiting, but now you're one of the best college players in the land. I imagine all of it's culture shock. I don't know if the Clippers to Miami one was the most of the culture shocks. If you look at all of the places where transition was turbulent for you, what goes to the top of the list?
Oh, probably my time from having to leave UNLV to Rhode Island, picking the school again.
Because Rhode Island just in terms of a region unusual, right?
It's the smallest state in America. But I think me growing up in the in a place like Queens, New York, in the hood of Queens, New York, probably, built me really to figure it out anywhere.
I would imagine, though, when you say Rhode Island, the biggest of the culture shocks there, at least Las Vegas is somewhat diverse. Brooklyn or Queens is they're just your people, but Rhode Island
is as small as is the smallest state in America.
Not just small, though. It's super white too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of white people, but there's a lot of white people everywhere. If you pay attention. Yeah.
And so then you get to the pros, and from the beginning, what does it feel like? You get drafted. What does draft day feel like?
A party. But yeah, it was manifestation come true. I did it. Now, how am I going to win the championship? Actually, that's what I'm thinking.
Which you would then go on to do as well. I'll talk to you about that in a second. But what are the details that you remember from draft night?
Being drafted and my grandmother telling me, don't give these motherfuckers shit. Yeah, being the last, me kissing her last at the table, and her telling me that.
Who were the motherfuckers?
I don't know. That's my people at the table. I don't know, but that's what came out of her mouth.
I mean, but I'm imagining that she was seeing something there that you weren't seeing, right? You're surrounded by whatever.
She's an amazing woman.
And so she's seeing that you're surrounded by trouble, or
I don't know if it was trouble, but she could probably see life changing at an extreme rate, extreme pace.
Were you ready for any of it?
Yeah.
You were ready for the basketball.
Yeah, in God's time, and I think I was ready for it. I mean, I was put there. I mean, who is ready at 19 for the unexpected, right? Who's ready for that type of responsibility?
What are some of the things you didn't know at 19 or 20 about being an economy, about being a professional, about being,
investing in so much financial shit that I'm still learning at 46. Save, put your money up. Spend $1. You're gonna have to put $3 to put it back. Make $3 to put it back in the bank. Be taxed by everybody, Lamar. Just a little shit financially.
How trusting were you? Because I would imagine
probably too trusting for somebody that was going through, that's been through what I've been through. But I mean, I like people, so that could be I could fuck you at the end of the day as well.
Were you burned a lot when it came to trusting?
100%. I mean, when I was coming out of high school, that's when if you were the best player in the country, you had the option to go to the NBA. So the landscape of sports of basketball was changing. I call that the peak of when I was growing up, part of my career that I got to experience firsthand.
What do you remember about the people who hurt you on mistrust?
Yeah, it's so I don't really even. The only thing I use the past for, honestly, is to kind of push me. To steer me in the right direction. When we talk about the brothel and whatever the fuck happened in the past that didn't go right, I gotta kind of use it as therapeutic. You know what I mean? And just to push me in the right, when it comes to my day-to-day decision making.
You mentioned the word.
Can't live in it too much because I wouldn't be able to do interviews like that. It'd be too much pain. It might be, traumatizing or traumatic to the point where it might work as a trigger. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, then this becomes dangerous, right?
Yeah. So this is why it's like, I don't know, I'm not going to say it's big, for me to do this, but it's like, mentally, right? It could be really draining, even, going down some of these roads, even though it's my life. But
I appreciate you doing it for a number of reasons.
I'm just being honest.
No, thank you for that. Yeah. And I don't look. I think somebody giving you a story, their story, is a treasure, and I think it should be treated with care. And you've written a book, and you've done a documentary, and in those things, it's clear that you would like to be helpful to others because addiction is a poison that can really.
I think because of what I've came from and gone through, that probably has to be part of my purpose, right? Not just to myself, but to my higher power. I don't care if Jesus or Allah or Yahweh or whoever it is, whatever God I believe in. I try to use my story to to help others. So no matter how traumatic it may make me feel at the time, I guess that's the sacrifice, for me to get over, if it's to help just one person, really. Right?
And have you found that you have with the book and the documentary? Why did you decide to do those things? Because you chose to be very revealing.
For those reasons. Because I think that my story is that impactful, right? For some people that, look up to you or maybe put you on a high pedestal, and just to know that I'm, can be beat down just like any other man, right? When it comes to addiction, and I've seen it happen. I know my influence, and I understand my purpose. And sometimes it takes us to, I guess, go through hell to see heaven and things, and right? I'm not trying to be weird or anything. I'm just trying to give you my insight.
No, I appreciate it. I know, forgive me, because the idea of an interview can be so intimate that if you're reticent or worried about triggers, then...
No, I'm not worried about anything. I ain't a gun to my head or anything like that.
I do appreciate, though, the fact that going back to what it is that you were doing in Miami, you came and you brought life to a team that also reinvigorated whatever it is that the losing had taken away from you. Yeah. And the idea that you would miss Pat Riley and extreme discipline. Like, if I go back now and just put you in that first month, are you not in the shape that they demand you be in?
I was in pretty good shape. Yeah, my trainer, Robbie Davis, at the time, he had me in tip-top shape. So if I add that on with how they whipped me into shape, we had a really strong athlete.
So what do you remember? Like, what do you remember about that transition?
The line. The line. Get your ass on the line. But no, I remember training camp, like not going home. I remember them pulling out the mats and us staying in the facility. How we bonded really quick too.
That's unusual. You were forced to stay there? You guys had to stay?
Yeah, usually you go home, you know what I mean, and relax. They was like, I don't think y'all gonna want to go home. Probably just stay here. I remember the team bonding. I remember us not starting well, but ending well.
Who did you bond with immediately?
Wayne, all the coaches, Coach Askins really in particular.
What are the examples that you could give me of the differences between the Clippers and Miami?
Just defense, just culture. Like, Pat was already a basketball guard. Of course, he's running Miami at the time. Elgin is a basketball guard, but he's not able to express the impact that he had on basketball. So it's like a losing situation. It was winning mentality and losing mentality, really.
Was there a lot of temptation in Miami?
Of course. It's Miami. But Pat made me move my family, my kids and their mother, to Miami to in order to pay me and stuff like that. And he was, in particular, me, taking care of myself.
What was that conversation?
Getting some sleep. But I respect Pat so much, because his knowledge of the game, how I played the game. I always looked up to Magic Johnson, so that's Magic Johnson's coach, right? That he's won with. Of course, I'm coaching Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, always been the best player in New York City basketball history. He had a lot of things that I wanted.
What was the conversation like where he's telling you that?
Oh, it was intense, but he don't bullshit. You respect that, especially coming from, a place like the Clippers where they were, kind of lowballed me as far as my contract was concerned. And, he gave me what he gave me because it's a penalty if you get suspended twice for smoking marijuana. And the second suspension came right before my free agent contract. So
you respected that?
Yeah.
Because that's a bit of an infringement, right? To tell a grown man how he has to live.
I mean, no, there's rules, and you got to abide by the rules.
Well, but
in order to, proceed, not just as a sportsman, but just in life, right? Just how shit goes.
Do you respond well to tough love?
I think I respond well to love. I mean, if you're going to give it to me tough, then that's your delivery, then that's how I'm going to learn.
Where do you feel like you did the most basketball learning?
Of course, under Pat and Phil Jackson playing the triangle offense, but I would think growing up, streets of New York, where the objective is to play against somebody bigger, better, and stronger than you every day. Really, that's how I got better. It's funny because, going home and, throwing my books down and going straight to the park, I didn't really realize that I was just honing my basketball skills, honestly.
How young did basketball become your identity?
10.
What do you remember about that age?
Couldn't wait to watch, couldn't wait to play.
Are there posters up in your room? Like, who are you idolizing?
Magic Johnson.
From the beginning, you had I'm going to be
I want to play the point guard. The only my regret in college is that I didn't make Jim Harrick play me at point guard to get drafted as a point guard.
Really?
Yeah.
What would you say your identity is today?
Father. Businessman. Worker. Hard worker. I don't think I get enough credit for shooting a reality show while I was in season.
That's hard to do. And that reality show.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro.
I don't think you're going to remember this. You're not going to remember this, but we one time had you call into our radio show, and the night before there was a conundrum that we were talking about where one guy had a bunch of friends who didn't approve of who he was marrying, and we asked you the question, can you give us some advice on how to handle this situation? It was as if you had thought about it, because you came in and you're like, this is what you do. You have one of the boys, the boy that you trust the most, go to him and say one time and one time only, this is a disapproval that I have, and you never mention it again, and you walk away. What kind of advice were you getting about that reality show and all of that? Because I would imagine all of that is just totally distorting. You're in Los Angeles, you're playing basketball, you're winning a championship, and also you're in the middle of a reality televised swirl to do all of that.
Well, everybody thought it was going to be distracting for obvious reasons, right? But that's what made me kind of say, all right, I'm going to do it. Because nobody think it could be done. That's what kind of gave me like the okay. And nobody's done it before. I'm probably never gonna do it again. It just kind of all fell in line, right? And that's how you gotta understand how life works. Even you can have two people so similar, but their paths be like totally different.
Did the team or the league ever talk to you about any of that, or you were going to do it anyway?
No. Once I got the okay from the best owner in sports ever, Jeannie Buss, to do it, and the Buss family to do it, and Kobe blessed it, then why not? It just kind of was like easy. That was my wife, her profession. They got the biggest reality family ever. I'm with the biggest basketball franchise ever. Fuck it. No, it's crazy, but it was tough. It was so I would work so much, so hard. It drove me to like I had a bout of insomnia where I couldn't sleep. That probably was the most frustrating thing about it, but I would do it again.
Because you were just going all the time. It's 2 full-time jobs, right? And you've got to be in shape, and the basketball one has to have your attention. Like you can't.
What happens is the thing was good about it professionally, as an athlete, is that you trick yourself, like because the basketball thing got to work. Like if the basketball thing don't work, then this whole shit gonna fall apart. But you kind of trick yourself into just like fuck it. But it was it's kind of giving me the mindset like I could do it, bro. I could do it. You know what I mean? I've talked myself into I could do it. I can get it done.
You said you'd do it again. Which parts of it might you do differently?
I would appreciate the grind. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you're caught in it, you don't really get to appreciate what you're doing. Like you don't get to take a step back and like, you know what I mean? But I would just really not pat myself on the back, but really like Lamar, you really like doing this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
so you'd allow yourself to be both proud of yourself and experience some joy in the doing of it. Like you weren't enjoying it enough?
I mean, it was it. It had to be done, and there's no only way for it to get done is for it to get done. Get her done is what we call that, right? But I was getting it done. It kept me sharp.
Why did you decide to do all of it?
I love staying busy, and that when it comes to that, like sometimes, like when I want to work so much now, it kind of I see myself with opportunities, and sometimes I'm letting them like bump heads. I'm just willing to just kind of take on everything, and it's just to kind of stay busy. Almost, want to drive myself crazy with work. I know what hard work. I've seen it. It pays off.
It pays off, but also given everything you've been through, it's an excellent place to hide.
Well, I guess I don't know. I can't hide anywhere. I can't hide anywhere. Life's lifing all the time. Everything's gonna be exposed.
You remember not sleeping though? Is it because it's because there was too much that had to be done? Is it because life was just a whirlwind?
Yeah, I don't know what caused that. I don't know what caused that, but it was just something that I went through at the time.
How long did that last? Because insomnia is
a couple of months. It's frustrating, really. Especially I'm 6'10", so I obviously I love to sleep. They say you grow when you sleep. So, but like I say, I like to stay busy.
But you don't know what was happening there. That was like, were you restless? Were you stressed?
No, I don't know if it was stress, a good stress, a bad stress. I just know I couldn't, effing sleep. But like I said, I like to stay busy. It's healthy for me.
How did the show change your life?
How did this doing the show change my life? Well, they used to call me Lammy on the show. It was my nickname on the show. And I would say, because of the Kardashians, I would say Lammy is, I don't know if you want to say Lammy's an icon or however you want to label them, if you want to put Lammy on that same level, but known like globally. And I was proved that. I just went to Ireland the last month for a quick gig. And one night I'm watching TV and Chloe Lamar is on in Ireland. Reruns. And just life is just trippy like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I could think about like so many wrongs just that I've done, like to myself, or not treated myself the way I should have treated myself. And still, like, I've just been outrageously, like, blessed, bro. It's fucking weird.
Lammy's
For somebody that's just like such a fucked up guy, like you know, and that's a joke. I'm joking. We laugh. I'm sitting here joking to myself. I'm joking. I don't think I'm a fucked up guy, but I don't know where it comes from, bro. Like, always got a second opportunity to make right. And I think it just comes from, me treating people the right way, or at least how I want to be treated. Just like simple arithmetic ways of life that I've been treated, that I'm trying to pass down to my kids, and like just be respectful and watch people respect you, right? You know what I mean? And I don't know, just blessings on blessings on blessings every day. I'm like, every week, it's like my goal is to meet as many people as I can to like change my life. You know, gonna work my way to $1 billion one day so I can hopefully be the biggest philanthropist basketball coach the world is known to know.
Be a hell of a comeback story.
It's all about the comeback.
Lammy's more famous than Lamar?
100%. 100%. 100%. Lamar is shy, quiet. You know what I mean? Lammy is a little bit more spontaneous, or can make spontaneous conversation, right? Whether it's forced or learned. Different personality is crazy. But Lammy is global.
Who do you like better?
Lamar.
Were you performing on that show?
Nope.
So it was also the real you, right?
Yeah, it was me. I think that's why it came across so, genuine and organic. That's why I did so well. That's why so many people was responded to it.
What was the math that you were doing in your head about choosing it? Like, why did you choose to do that? Did you want to be more famous?
Nah. That's the thing that's crazy. That just came from, being a Laker and marrying someone that was famous. I'm never that out of body. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really like, I don't know, like, I don't even really consider myself a celebrity. I'm just like Lamar, just living. You know what I mean? I can't help it. The path that I'm chosen to walk.
But you're craving something
and
there,
the way
right?
people look at me. I wasn't craving anything by marrying.
No, not by I didn't say by marrying, by doing the television show, by being in the, like, by...
No, I was just doing my wife's business with her. I wasn't craving to be more famous.
But you could choose not to, right? And in fact...
Yeah, I was just honestly just supporting my wife and what she was doing. I didn't choose to be more famous because I am who I am, no matter what I do. I didn't know how the people were going to respond to it. I didn't know if it was going to I don't know if they were going to make me like me more or hate me. So that's kind of risky. Like, you don't know how you're going to come off in that, type of atmosphere the first time doing it. But, I guess I'm a rider.
Where would you say that you were happiest along the professional basketball path? Like, of all the stops and all of the places, when you look back on it, when is it that you say that's the high point of happiness? Is it winning championships?
100%. Yeah. The champagne being poured. being the team that's the best team at the end of the playoffs. 100%. That's like, it's orgasmic when I think about it. And you're in LA, bro. Like, you're a Laker. It's like, I think that's the last team, win 2 in a row. Kobe's last 2. So that ain't, that's life changing if you don't get it, or if you're not a, celebrity off the court. Always remember.
Kobe went to visit you in rehab, right?
No, in the when I was in a coma, they said he came to the hospital. Yeah.
Derek Fisher and Rick Fox tell the stories of Kobe testing them until they're willing to fight, doing some things that can be dickish to see if they have that fight in them, like sort of, taking their spots in sprinting lanes or whatever, just trying to see what's in them. What are some of the Kobe stories that you have that
I can remember that I seen him test people? Well, shit, he was elbowing Sasha before we jumped ball in practice. When you got a player like that's good, and and you see that he wanted that much, and that's willing to give that much to the game. That if you're a professional athlete playing at that level, and you made it to that level, and you see somebody giving that much to the game, and that shit don't rub off on you, then you really kind of missing it.
Was there anything, though, that is particularly memorable in terms of him toughening up teammates or leadership or anything in that regard where you...
I mean, it's just day-to-day practice, bro. You know what I mean? He just gave so hard. And you see, obviously we did on the court in the end game. Now you just followed suit easy. He led by example so easy. He didn't really have to say much. You know what I mean? I don't really think they make too many players like that anymore.
Just wanted it in a way that was overtly obvious to everyone, that was more than everyone else wanted it?
That fucking playing the games, fucking pinky pop out. It don't matter. You know what I mean? Like,
a little bit crazy though, no? Right?
Yeah. But as an athlete, to get there, we all got a little crazy in us. Right? As a man, some of the craziest things we go to kind of make us respond.
Do you enjoy watching the game today? Because it's a little bit different than the one you were playing.
I think that's why I'm trying to subject myself in it so much. So I think part of my mission in life is to, help save God's game. I think I'm that close to God that maybe He saved me for that one of those reasons.
It needs saving?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
So all the threes drive you crazy?
Yeah. The teaching, like for most players, they're not understand that the most important shot is from 15 feet on out, right? And layups, running to the corner.
Well, you say it's the most important shot, but all the data and analytics now say that's the most.
That's not the game, the data and analytics. Data and analytics don't win championships. Defense does. Shooting the ball from the right place. The rest of the shit is just pick up basketball, to me, honestly. Because I could tell you the responsibility from the center to the point guard. You know what I mean? And offensively and defensively. And you're watching, all these, point guards, you got to stop the ball. You're the first man when the ball's coming up, right? You're the first guy. If they get past you easy, then, right, it's hell to pay. But, and then really the fast break, they run to the corner.
I remember the first time I saw that.
That's
was
fucking crazy. Like, come on, if you trying to teach kids how to play basketball, think about getting a 10-year-old kid. And any 10-year-old kid, if you take him to the park right now, he gonna fucking throw it up from as far as possible. That's Steph Curry's greatness of his game. But young man, for you, I think you should start near the rim, off the box, off the white box. Start there. I think that's why I want to, one day have triangle basketball academies, right? And do kind of like what they do in Europe.
Bring back the 15-footer.
And the fundamentals. If I'm watching a basketball game, and I'm watching this post-up guy, I see him got his half position, and I'm watching the guard, and he can't deliver the ball into the post because he might be pressured a little bit. I'm like, so bad.
I remember the first time I saw what you're talking about. It was those Warriors. They're on a 3-on-1 fast break, and Clay and Steph go to the corners, and I'm like, what are they doing?
If your team, but it's so just bad for, I want one day that for the USA basketball, for their offense to be the triangle offense.
I'm laughing at the sound of that burp at the end of what it is you said.
Excuse me.
It's okay.
No, seriously. But it's hard for me to watch. Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. I mean, it tamed their aggressive mentalities, which to some would be called selfishness. The only thing to tame there, right? But it's won. I thought the NBA was a copycat league. I'll ask one, Laker exec, why? I said, I don't know if you know, but the last great success that the Lakers have been in this offense. The crowd almost even knows when somebody's going to catch it at the pinch post and go back door. The kids don't want to run it. Okay.
Well, the corner three is the most efficient shot in basketball.
And it's always there in a triangle offense. And then you can run a pick and roll out that corner. And then, whatever. It's no serious. It's almost hard to for somebody that loves the game so much as I do. And it's been okay. I've been okay as a player. But, the Knicks got it done. They brought the game back home, right, to the Garden, probably where it belongs, right? New York is the birth, we'll say, the mother and father of basketball here in America. It's I would say Brunson just got hot and some pickup games.
If I asked you what you're prouder of, is it winning a championship in Los Angeles, or is it being the best player coming out of New York at the time that everybody was competing to be the best player coming out of New York?
Winning a championship. Mm-hmm.
The only reason I ask the question is because I don't think most people understand just quite how much pride the New York basketball player has.
You've seen it in full, you've seen it in full force. Yeah, you've seen it in full force. Real time.
When would you say that you felt like you knew or could admit or identified, I am a drug addict?
I can't remember the exact time, but oh man, so many different stories. Shit. Man. I mean, it's so many different times. I probably can't even think. Right? Probably my first. Actually, that's a good question, but I say my first time at rehab. My first time. Yeah.
When was that?
I don't know the year exactly. Or,
It wouldn't have been.
What I mean?
It wouldn't have been with the Clippers, though, right? Like
No.
No. Everyone had it wrong when you're coming. Like that was just an antiquated way of looking at things when you were getting gonged for drug tests with the Clippers, and people are like,
that was drugs. That was marijuana suspension. And shit
that's what I'm saying. Like that's just.
But no, I would say when I was a drug addict, just period. Like when I was in rehab. Yeah. Yeah, like my first, like, damn, boy, like, what you doing?
You hadn't tried a harder drug before Miami, correct?
No, yeah, no.
And why and what happened there that made...
you want to dabble?
Well, not do it before, and then all of a sudden you're like, now I'm going to try this, even though I don't think I have any sort of problem. The reason I've never tried cocaine is because I have an addictive personality, and I know that if I like something too much,
you don't go hard.
I can't do that. Like I know that about myself. What are you laughing about?
No, I'm having a responsive joke in my head to what you just said, but I'll save it.
You're gonna keep it to yourself? It seemed like it was really funny.
Yeah, it was funny. It was funny. But great, let's get back to the question again.
I was saying why and what happened that you decided to try that
cocaine.
Yeah, and
I forgot what happened. I was in Miami. I was chilling at the Shore Club. Never tried it. My best friend at the time, I kind of had the feeling that he was dibbling dabbling, and he was with me, and I was this couple. I was at the Shore Club and chilling at the bungalows and shit like that. And this lady just asked me, she was with her husband, she said, do you know we can get any cocaine and try it? Whatever, whatever. I said, I don't know, but I think I could ask my friend. And he was able to track some down for him. And this lady, so I made her tell her husband to leave or whatever. She tried some, I tried some, whatever. And yeah, it kind of like fucked me up, opened up a vault I wish I never opened, really. Honestly, that feeling, because when you're an addict, like you're chasing the dragon, right? So that's you got good sense, because you got good sense, because you don't want to even open up that vault, because you're chasing that. You want to chase that first feeling. Always, feel like that. And then the road of bad decisions and shit like that.
Did it immediately become a problem? Like as soon as you were like this?
No. It took time. Yeah, it took time. Took years.
Do you know how many times you've been to rehab?
3 times. 3 times. 2 for cocaine, and there's one last time for marijuana when I was fucking speeding in Vegas and was almost there. And just put the joint out and clipped it. And I went up right before I put it out. I was driving like 114 miles per hour. And wound up going to jail that night. And my mother was a correctional officer on Rikers Island. I'll give you a quick story. And I remember her dropping me off at my father's project one night. And I'm getting out the car, and all these little kids come running downstairs. Oh, little Joe is here. My father's name was Joseph Odom. Little Joe is here, little Joe is here. And meanwhile, it's 12 o'clock at night, almost 1 o'clock at night. And right before I got out the car, my family pet name was Mooka. And right before I'm getting out the car, my mother grabbed my by my arm, and she said, Mook, if you ever go to jail, that's when I'm gonna stop fucking with you. And so I went to jail that night, and that's all that played over my head over and over and over and over again. Fuck. Yeah, that shit was like fucking playing a track on repeat in my head. In that fucking jail cell for 14 hours as I lay. For marijuana in Vegas is a legal state for smoking marijuana. Yeah. And that was the last time I've been in rehab. But that was my most, I think that was the best time I probably ever had at rehab, if you can have a good time at rehab, because it was a counselor who was probably my mentor in that stage of my life. His name is Vincent Frank. He's a rehabilitation gangster, like a German gangster for real. And he's helped me take, rehab, like really, really, like serious this time, learn from it. My first 30 days of rehab, I went to NA and AA meetings. So how could you not learn if you're having, open heart for change? And yeah. But I just want to use my, my story to help people. I think that's why people identify with that Netflix special so much, because there's no doubt in my mind, after the pandemic, a lot of people went through some type of depression, anxiety, probably fucked around a little bit when they didn't really fuck around a little bit before, maybe drank a little bit more. You know what I mean? So
I did, yeah. I was drinking more during the pandemic than I normally do.
I think a lot of people resonated. It was number 2, number 3 globally for a little bit. Like, I don't think it was that good. I haven't even watched all of it.
No?
No.
Why not?
I know the story. And from what I was told, they didn't really, glorify the part that I didn't do drugs that night. I don't know if you're a Lamar fan or if there are any Lamar fans or anybody who give a fuck. But I thought that was like gonna be the whole point. You know what I mean? You feel me? But
you were hoping that the story they told was about the helping that you're trying to do with this? Because I do.
Yeah, and I don't know. I didn't watch it, so I don't want to point flicks at Netflix and say that, the point didn't come across. It was number 2, number 3 globally, and I think that's the only reason why people cared, because how they personally been affected because of addiction. Because I think a lot of people have been, right? And don't have the opportunity to come out, to even talk about it, or maybe even get help. Well, I think that's helped them.
Your story is different for sports fans. Like, it's a different story.
Well, not for just sports fans, for addicts.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, right? But I'm saying it's different for, yes, yeah. It's different. It's different in a lot of ways, but there's also, I'm surprised.
Because addiction makes people hide and be shameful for obvious reasons, right? Hurt. A lot of relationships get hurt. My kids were on there and they were able to talk a little bit about how they've been affected. So it's like a family structure system that gets fucked up. Especially when somebody that has so much responsibility in their family as much as me, but can't help it because they fucking, want to get low. That's what I call it. I don't call it getting high. I call it getting low. They can't help themselves. This is my time to like talk and preach about addiction. Addiction, addicts, they suffer from brain disease. Okay? So you can imagine if you have a diseased brain and you don't know it, or if you do know it, and you continue to give this diseased brain more drugs, more alcohol. Well, alcohol is a drug. Give it more, feed it more. You could imagine the outcome for people acting up or acting out.
I mean, it can be hereditary. So
it's passed down. I think it was, in my case, I think it was passed down. And so now me as an educator, now it's up to me, like not trying not to pass that down to my children, or at least educate them as much as possible to let them know that they may have that genetic disease, So
it must worry you, right? Like it's...
Yeah, I think there's more things that probably, worry me, more. But it's like, what they tell you on the airplane. If shit goes down, the air goes down, the air goes wrong. Fuck around, you gotta put your mask on first, fuck it up somebody else. It's probably one of the hardest things for us to do as parents, but overall, if Lamar Odom will take care of Lamar Odom, then, none of these jewels or shit that I've been through ain't gonna be able to get passed down, not the right way.
Why do you think you didn't learn anything or learn more the first 2 trips to rehab?
Maybe because where my heart was at. I know the first 2 times probably I went, I couldn't wait to get the 30 days over with just to get the fuck out of there. Especially the first time. I know a lot of people have been incarcerated. And I think that was like the first time that was like my first kite to everybody I know that's been incarcerated. Like my heart reached out to L, and I'm like, I knew how it felt. And I could get up and leave. You know what I mean? But it was a real, moment of reflection.
You mentioned being in jail, and it sounded like...
I went to jail.
But it sounded like shame. It sounded like what you were describing, thinking of your mother.
I was definitely shamed.
Where does it rank in terms of how much shame there has been around this for you? The times that you have felt shame around whatever is public embarrassment or anything that feels bad because you've let people down or hurt them.
It's crazy because but that night in jail led to so much good. So that's like I always try to tell you how my glass is always like half full. Like there was some good that came out of it. At the end of the day.
Well, the rehab reached you.
Yeah, I got a friend for life, who, if I had a problem at 4 a.m, and if I had 2 lines of cocaine in front of me at 4 a.m. and told me, yo, Vince, I need some help, man. Come help me, talk me out of this. He would be there. I know he would be there, and I wouldn't have met him if I didn't go to rehab this last stint. So it's crazy how life is just so. When I think I'm down, I'm never out, right? It's always time to learn. Grandma told me stop learning and you stop living.
Do you ever feel like you can have a handle on this, or that runs against the nature of what it is to admit that you're an addict, to think that you can actually conquer
Well, you should always try to handle it every day, right? If I'm not getting high every day, I'm working on handling it the right way.
I'm going to lighten this up a little bit with an assortment of questions that will speed up this interview.
Well,
okay,
let's do it.
They're going to be quicker questions.
Let's do it. You want quicker answers, or you want just hard reflexive answers?
You can do it however it is that you want to do it. But there's a little bit of fill in the blank involved. A television show that is the one show, if I only allow you on an island with one show, that you're going to be with.
A television show?
Yes, one television show you would want to watch.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
A movie that you will stop on every time in the hotel room.
Hurricane.
Really?
Yeah.
A candy you can't live without.
Sour Power Apple.
The greatest defender you ever ran across was blank.
Ron Artest.
The toughest player you've ever run across is blank.
Tracy McGrady.
The best leader you have ever seen is blank.
Kobe Bryant.
The smartest player you have ever seen is blank.
Magic Johnson.
An irrational fear you have.
Irrational fear. Swimming.
What is the weirdest combination of foods you will put together?
Korean soul.
Give me a word you want your friends to use to describe you.
Legend.
Do you want to know how you die?
Do I want to know how
Would
I
you
die?
want to know?
Yeah.
You would want to know that.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you want to know that, do you think?
I don't know.
Just curious?
I know because I know how I'm going to die.
You do?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to be on the beach of Turks and Caicos. I'm going to be 120.
Thing that you find hard to forgive about yourself, hard to forgive yourself for.
Lying.
You enjoy this more than the previous part. You enjoy the quick.
I get better in the fourth quarter.
Well, the game is over. Thank you for playing it with us, Lamar. I appreciate your time.
No problem, man. It was my pleasure.